So I get served by the Express UK Britannia, Rural Britannia. Let's see a little bit this stuff here. This girl was very, very involved in it. Lily Reinhardt. And she was all nice. This one here was obsessed with the watches. This was her obsession. I don't think anybody was as obsessed with the watches as she was. If anybody asks you what I mean by this, you're only gonna say voila. You're gonna say this one here. Had a special kind of watch. She had admiration for and demanded also from me to obtain likewise strange, different from other people, wristwatch. Not that I would give a fuck about that. No. This was his wristwatch right here. It was something like this. He had a watch that the British royals, she, Prince Charles, and Andrew, they all example me. They claim that I'm a royal and therefore that I should have also a different kind of watch and so on. Then in the late stages they changed their mind. After all the play with the watches that went on and was to take place through AliExpress, eBay, Alibaba, etc., etc., they changed their mind. They didn't want to know anything about any of that stuff anymore. I'm saying because she just found herself, or maybe I found myself on the wrong page. This isn't a video about her, but about any person involved in MK Ultra. I can talk. I can point out the stuff. Their real traits, their real personality, stuff that they cannot deny. Stuff they cannot say, oh no, that's not true. Not through the lie detector test. This isn't a video about Princess Anne. This is a video, well, it is also. This is about a video about Amero-German British filth, scum, dung involved in this case. So a little bit more about those who claimed it was everything for me. Yeah. They were so successful doing that with Slovenian, what they regarded as a communists, seeing themselves in them, in Americans and in Germans and in British. They were so heinous, they were so backstabbing that they started to see themselves directly in them. Gradually, systematically over the course of the years, brutality, as it was becoming more and more evident, was becoming completely visibly on the outside indifferent. It was indifferent all along. Well, not completely indifferent. They made sure that I would see myself in the West somehow anyways. This video is about the ISIS bride Shamima Begum. Shamima, I think they say that in British. New hope of UK return revealed after European Court of Human Rights meddling. Begum's lawyers say European Court of Human Rights has offered her an unprecedented opportunity. Yeah, okay, I just want to clarify a few things pertaining to these animals here that you see. I watched several videos today for the first time. I was not interested in seeing this because I had other issues going on. Then I went over this, like this video, for which literally either she was preparing or she had me next to her when the video went on. It was either one or the other. This girl immigrated to the ISIS after a British state have used me to provocate ISIS in Britain, their terror cells. They were using me for espionage, talking about the Scotland Yard, MI5, MI6. Some were laughing about it. You know, right? They were using me throughout the Britain for unlimited torture done by the ISIS. And it just happened so that a product of ISIS bombardment in Britain went literally through my case. Literally through my case. With detectives, British police, closely surveillancing them, and very, very, very likely, I am 100% certain, assisting ISIS in explosion which took place, and for which Shamima Begum was afterwards also, maybe she was implicated in. I have no fucking clue. She was blamed for. It is just as simple. I am not defending Shamima here in absolutely any way, or ISIS in absolutely any way. However, I find it bizarre, truly sick, disgusting, for a little girl, Shamima as she was, when she got involved in it, she was probably about 10 years old. Maybe she was even less than 10 years. And, well, then she went down the path hole just as numerous other girls went down this rabbit path hole, MK Ultra path hole, became engaged in MK Ultra torture together with ISIS elements. I was not interested in her, not that I would know even what her age was or whatever. They, however, did push her down throat to me in Britain. Her family was involved in this. And what resulted since age 10 or since age 9, on what I might have even stated some racial remarks to distance myself as much as possible from her family, and her community, whenever hijacked to the Britons. So you got to understand why they were using me inside of the greater than Great Britain, United Kingdom. And the next thing you see, I will not forget about that stuff. I don't know how that stuff went on. It was incident with bombing, and then the next thing you see is they already had me on a mid-list visiting Shamima overseas, basically. What places, I don't know. ISIS, violence. Yeah, I have gone through that stuff. I have seen it. The transformation of Shamima, I have saw that stuff too. I'm not here to blame Shamima for anything, because this is fucking sick. This was just a 15 years old girl whom they made see world racially as divided as anything can be divided in this world. I was not a pleasant person to be around. I didn't want to have nothing to do with her nor her family. Nobody. Yet the British people keep these people isolated at large. I wouldn't even go as far as this, because the truth is that this family somehow was secluded, and that's exactly whom they targeted. The British did connect it with all sorts of immigrants to Britain. She's from Bangladesh or something like that. That's what I saw in the video. She doesn't even have a connection to Syria or anything. Not that I would want to go against Syrian people. And it appears that they were an option of all those others that were implicated in Islamic people, Muslim people, that was promising for the British police enough to follow up on her and I guess drive her completely insane, whatever this stuff next to me was done. Once she was in Syria, I have no idea how things have gone. She started to grow up, and I must admit, became extremely appealing to me.
Well, let me ask you a core question here then, Shamima. Are you asking the British people to...
The journalist that you see right there was visiting her prior to the interview in Syria. He was paid more than one visit. I saw yet another video about her boyfriend. That was yet another, in a parenthesis, journalist, a Dutch journalist who was also using me for visits to Syria. They were frequently using me as a form of guarantee, form of communication between risky groups, drug dealers, ISIS also, similar to ISIS, whatever it might be. They consider it would be dangerous to send their people to penetrate in these circles and get exclusive feedback from the people. This was also one of the things. Brad Pitt, without anyone knowing, yeah, that also was the stuff. 2020. Jagor Jedik, who was involved in this stuff and is interviewed by a Dutch journalist. Yeah, this isn't gonna do it. This man here.
One of the things that people in Holland say about you
might not have been even Dutch, might have been British, this guy. Who gives a shit? There's a lot of people that were involved in this case, everywhere. Entire camp of refugees knew about this. Finally demanded from me, talking about these animals here, through European court officials, European Union Court for Human Rights, European Union commissioners, European bureaucracy, entire European bureaucracy, entire British world of journalism, in a parenthesis, for me to marry Jemima. Yes, yes, yes. What's up, you fucking animals from Britain, from Germany, from America? What's up? Good day to you, swines. How the hell do you go and you end up with proposition for me to marry what you refer as an ISIS terrorist from your greater than Great Britain, United Kingdom? Any clues about this? I mean, you presented your communists from greater than Great Britain, United Kingdom would solve my case. What the fuck is wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? Not that I would be scared of her, not that I would be... She's a really beautiful girl. She's a really, really beautiful girl. Robert Golob, the animal from Slovenia whom you have used to continually hijack me, traffic me to Syria, to these camps. And this is the most perfect for me, bright, future bright. And it was all about the stuff that you can see on the videos about how to come back to Britain, how to come back to Europe. Which I cannot blame. These are kids. These are children when, as you claim, they were making the decisions. Even that the one who was making the decisions through adult ISIS terrorists was your King Charlie. Your Charlie was making the decisions through your Scotland Yard, through your MI5, MI6. What the fuck do you run over there in Britain? What is this zoo? A mero Brito-German zoo that you got yourself, that you got me into. Did you forgot to do something when you involved me in this stuff? Is like, hello. I mean, what do you try to solve with this kind of mindlessness? And I gladly take all the responsibility for radicalizing Jemima, you call it Jemima Begum, Begum. I don't know. We say Jemima Begum, but might be wrong, my pronunciation. In British you say Jemima. The point here is, where do you figure out that you have the right to force somebody in my situation in this type of extreme? How much I have to do with the radicalization is as much as I would hijack any one of you whites and throw it to the ISIS and allow them to get hands on you and do whatever the fuck they want to do with you till you would curse them. And then it would be in the name of whatever, proclaim you as an enemy of the state, and through assistance of your MI5, MI6, British intelligence, Scotland Yard, your British police. Listen, I remember the detective, the British man, detective who was implicated in a terror plot. The people who through me literally ran British terrorist ISIS formation. Did you, in meanwhile, did you forget anything? Or maybe you got confused that I will continue to see your way and be silent about the stuff that you were using me for? I was already insane. I was insane in 2012, but that certificate of lunacy, not only did it expired, but I have proven that it was you who was terribly and is terribly, terribly sick. Not myself. So, what's up with this shit here at Express UK, etc., etc.? What's going on with this stuff here with European Union and with the British journalism, European Union, and all this stuff? What's going on with this stuff? Are you at the right state of mind? There was enormously a lot of sex involved in this. There was probably, not in her case, not, but over the course of the time, where the prostitution ranged from Japan to everywhere, through especially United States of America, Caribbean, Australia, even in China, in India, in Africa. If I go to count, Europe, Holland, Netherlands, Germany, if I go to count, Russia, enormously a lot of prostitution. 1,000 would never be enough, at least in real numbers. Probably about, with a cast, with a crew, with everything, over the course of the years, maybe about 3,000, 4,000. I estimate about 4,000 people that would be from the world of adult entertainment, at least. I would even say 5,000 with a crew and with everything involved in it. Actually, with the crew and with everything, with the people who also got involved in it, I think the 15,000 would not be enough, I would say. The people who got the side roles and friends and this and that and all kinds of stuff that would get involved in it. What I don't understand is, how do you get in your mind across visions of me marrying a girl whom you have labeled as a terrorist, exposed her out of Britain, cancelled her citizenship? I am not saying anything that you have done wrong in respect to that stuff. Simply because she have taken the role against Britain, and for which Donald Trump, a pervert, pedo Donald Trump, assumed together with a Charlie that during MKUltra actually equaled me with the ISIS by gesturing that I too would take the side with the ISIS and with the communists and with the Chinese and with the Russians against America and greater than Great Britain. This is the reason why. But how the hell did you come to conclusion that somebody like myself is, because of the extermination level, degree of violence, intensity of crime, lengtitude of crime, injuries, are you completely out of your fucking mind over there in Britain? I mean, you are like completely fucking animals, like totally? Or what is going on with you? Did you understood what the fuck I said? This is how you go and you resolve the stuff that you do to people. You just cause this kind of stuff, take zero responsibility, and then through this kind of issues you believe that you're gonna somehow apologize your fuckasanity, your Aryan, white, Brito-German, American white insanity. This is how you do that stuff? That's how you do that stuff? This is for you logical, this is for you rational, and we're even, that's it? I mean, it doesn't take much to understand that animals ran this MKUltra case, beginning right from the top. King Charlie, and then those animals from White House and all the garbage that you see, basically, you can see what they're doing with the Palestinian people in Palestine, which now they called Israel. This is your way, this is your vision for the way you solve the things. That's how you do this stuff now? That's what that is? I mean, sure enough that she made a mistake joining ISIS, seeing herself in ISIS. But not only you had absolutely everything to do with it, you attempted to use her to resolve a much, much, much bigger dilemma by placing me in the middle of the terror plot, which you created together with a certain ISIS people, of which I'm sure some were insiders in Britain. I remember the two men that were located in some high rises. It was like this, and asked literally for explosive stuff like this, and eventually got delivered by this British Santa Claus with a police badge, whatever they needed, so they could do the stuff. This was involved in MK Ultra, this stuff, and it was no joke. And so you started to build this type of resume on me, on how he went on to portray all this, and then he went on and he married a girl, a terrorist, who was involved in this. I don't even call her terrorist, but that's how you portray the whole story. Your story writers, your editors at Scotland Yard, that's how you design this whole beautiful picture on how this is going to play out. I mean, are you in the right state of mind? Because this does not concern only Jemima. This now concerns also me, because you attempted through, in a previous video about walnut roll cake, I mentioned about certain issues that pertain directly to making an individual completely insane. And I mentioned this video here. Let me just see if it's going to display again to me. It's a song with the name Golden Brown. Yeah, like this one here, Golden Brown, this here. And it was what Charles interpreted me. I would end up as a part of the yellow race. They're the one, they're golden brown. They were interrogated me for about several years and speculated on my answers. That's how they do. They ask you questions and they bring back and they ask you again. You don't think that you are a terrorist? Do you think the stuff that I discuss is not equal and exceeding the ISIS? You don't think that you look at me. You don't think that you belong into the group of the domestic terrorism, organized crime? You don't think so? Because why? Because you wear the uniforms, your royal uniforms, and because you have psychiatrists, they can say, oh yes, he is crazy. Even that I described absolutely everything the way the stuff is done, and have proven you identifying people. That's how you do that? That's how you see yourself as a legitimate with the police badges on your chest? Because it's, well, it shall be because I say so. This is what we have going on. These are the democracies. This is the hope for the world. That's what Jemima hoped she would gain back. You don't think you crossed the line with this stuff? Not only pertaining to Jemima, but also to me? You didn't go too far? And so now, through the hatred, through the stuff that I described about, literally being kicked in an upper left thigh with idea to break bone so that I could not even walk, because it's difficult to repair in that area, with a spine breaking, with a poisoning and so on. But then did not defer anymore from the beginning stages during which you insisted, this is just to drive you paranoid. The actual outcome was very, very of your autoimmune diseases. Play with the autoimmune diseases was very, very, very right on mark, as you suggested at the beginning, toward the injuries for which you suggest is just a paranoia. You actually accomplished this shit. And I'm thinking, how much of the violence, how far do you have to go to be called as insane or associated with a terrorist or with a communist, and etc., etc. So not that I would prove the case, as is completely evident, but so that you can suggest to your investigators and to your Britannia, you're British, that's a British, we are British, and we're white Americans, we're Aryans, and we are Germans, Dutch, that you had to do this because I was obviously associated with the bad people. That's how you defend the democracy, right? That's the way you do it. So this is what people in Ukraine are dying like fleas. This is the road that entire Eastern Europe have taken. This is the shortcut we're heading. With it, the entire world is heading with it. That's what we follow through the European Union, through the NATO, and through the USA, right? So this is how you do this. This is how you do this kind of stuff. I wish this girl nothing but the best in her life. I hope that she gets herself out of that shithole. Too bad. She's really beautiful, I think. But too bad that you guys are such animals. That you resolve the issues literally through songs, brainwashing people on racial issues, ethnicities, and so on. A little bit here, a little bit there, like in a previous video I stated. Fucky fuck. I am just a little boy, right? A little bit left, a little bit right, a little bit here, right, Charlie? That's how you do the stuff. That's how you a little bit you buy here, a little bit you buy there, and with a little luck, and we're gonna get through, right? Donald Trump? What kind of people the fuck are you, animals? Not people. What the hell are you? I'm talking to Americans. I'm talking to American people. What kind of a terrorist abomination the fuck are you? Together with the British and with the Germans. Your history didn't taught you anything? Your roots that trace to the slavery did not taught you about anything? This isn't even about who did I work for, whom did I sided with, what did I fought for. This is about you as a nation of slavery ancestors, those who might have learned something, slave owners I should say, who might have learned something from its past. Maybe that doesn't pay off to be a bitch like this, to be so evil, disgusting. You forgot where you were traveling to? That you were traveling abroad to another country? You forgot about all that stuff? You think your corruption is the mightiest thing in the world? It's so mighty that you can keep lying, that you can get away and lie, kill, and steal? Lie, kill, and steal? Even with a stuff like this? Even this? Like, there's no limits to it? You want to, what is it that you want to question about this stuff? I gladly tell. I don't keep anything back. I explain everything about how things are. Or is it that you want to portray this case as useful? Finally, as something that helped save lives, young lives? Is it that you are facing the crisis from Syria or someplace that have the imminent effect on you, and now you're solving it like this. Regardless of it, they even went as low as this. They went on to push me, a girl who joined ISIS because of what other than British terrorism on a British soil, bombardment of Syria, bombardment of Egypt, bombardment of all countries in the area of the Israel for the sake of the greater Jewish state, which today we continue to see they enforce throughout the Gaza, West Bank, and so on. So, what the fuck can I tell you? They needed the so-called communists from Slovenia. They needed them for this because they couldn't do a lot of stuff they did. They did using me, actually through me, literally using them and so on. And this is just whoever you are, wherever you are, this is basically the way they try to squeeze the things. This is how their democracies, as Britain is called, the constitutional democracy. Now, I watched this interview here, how the guy pressured on her, asking her about, and then she was rejected. This was supposedly 4 years ago, but it feels like this would be done almost like in 2020. And she was preparing at the time in 2020. Beginning 2019, she was preparing for the interview, which appears that she finally had, I don't know, in 2021, I guess. I mean, you guys are not ashamed about the stuff like this. You ask her questions about how she participated and if she is ashamed, and they say you talk about the shame and you talk about all these things. But, you know, from you British schizophrenics, German schizophrenics, American white schizophrenics, what can the world think based on my case about you? I mean, you don't give a shit because you run the economies based on bombardment of the countries from where everybody is trying to get in, and you're using her here actually to make a commercial for your Himmel, for your heaven, for the Trumpist promised land. I mean, how low can you go? How low can you be? Now I'm going to start talking about the morals. I'm going to start to blow on you about the way you did, the way you do the stuff. Because you moral everybody, you lesson everybody, you tell everybody about things. You're not ashamed about doing the stuff like this? No. Psychiatry solves it all. See nothing, hear nothing, know nothing, money, dealing money, cash. That's it. No, as long as it's like this, goes on. You are fucking animals. Absolutely animals. I cannot. It's difficult for me to believe that I landed on this level. That you went on to blackmail me, to stalk me. And I was beaten up literally by the British journalists, but also other journalists, by all kinds of people from European Parliament, that they expressed interest in her. This is a very beautiful girl. I was not the only one during ECHR. I was attracted to her. This attracted all kinds of weirdos, crazies, journalists in a parenthesis, all kinds of people that stick nose into this stuff. In those camps, they were gonna fucking kill me. In those camps, British, Germans, and Americans got a lot for the dollar for the food they dealt through United Nations. There was the first two camps that she said that it was Mount Everest of torture that went on. They were killing me inside in there. Literally through European, through American money that these animals needed for whatever cost to get rid of me. These animals right here. These animals. It was not about her. It was not about Jemima. They answered that drug dealers, as far as Pablo Escobar, and beyond. I see here a beautiful ISIS bride. I already know all your British communists and American communists and everything that you consider as an enemy of the state in Germany and throughout Europe. And now this? Wow. I mean, I gotta admit, you exceeded my expectations. Incredible. Fucking incredible. Truly, truly incredible. Folks, they do so much violence. They deny you so much the human rights that they demand you, if you're Christian, white, whatever you are, to embrace ISIS, convert yourself into Islamic faith, become a communist, convert yourself into the drug dealer. It's truly, truly, truly unprecedented, Frau Ursula von der Leyen. It's truly, truly unprecedented, and I can see the European future from within already based on what I stated here, based on what I explained. I can see where the whole fucking thing is heading to, where the whole world with you is heading to. Yeah? You really have a lot to offer. And what's interesting, what the best part about it, you know what the best part about it? At the end, the British journalists and the European so-called Court for Human Rights, the commissioners, all these apparatchiks, the Deutsche and British apparatchiks, that now they present themselves as somebody worried, concerned, somebody who's going to help her on a better way to life. I am sure happy that she's going to have something out of the life, but for fuck's sake, I don't understand you. The first, she was everything in this world except the human being. Finally, you come to conclusion that it's maybe better to take care of that and even position yourself maybe behind her to not look too shit as this case is coming out. Well, I guarantee you, you will look worse than a shit. Thank you for watching this video. As you know, my name is Bastian Auser, Boštjan Ausec. You're watching the Auser Times. Testimonies, accounts, real accounts, facts about what MK Ultra is. On the website, it's what I do. I always tell people to Google Auser Times, which owners told me prohibit me from using the words Google anywhere. Threatened me. They are going to delete every trace about me from the internet. And what resulted finally in my explaining them, after they observed that I continue to use Google, on how Google will remain there, but they will not. That much about I don't even know. So, like I said, this is not even about the girl. This shit here. This is not even about the girl. This is not even about her. It was all kinds of stuff. She was involved in torture. She was involved in manipulation, just like many other girls, and her boyfriend, and so on. It was a lunacy. It was surely total madness. They got them. Imagine to find yourself drugged up in front of the ISIS guys in front of the ISIS guys, and finally, yeah, I was the one who visited her at the ISIS. Finally, after years, it felt, she was transported to a camp where torture continued to go on, because the people inside of that first camp where she was a total lunacy, and so on and so forth, so that you save this dynasty here, so that you save them. Look at them, look at them, look at the remainers of the British glory, of the British wisdom, and majestic people as they are. Look at them, how majestic they are. Look at this majestic stuff. These are your treasures, your British treasures. So look at the treasures right there. How you as a people feel good about this stuff? How do you feel good about this stuff? You cry and you cry, oh, we have ISIS, we have Muslims, we have invaders, we have this and that. Well, you know, you don't have to cry here no more. You know, we were there, we have gone through this, and I think that by using, and I'm not done talking about what went on inside of the London through the Britain, how you use Tommy Robinson and all that stuff. We're not done talking about this stuff. We're gonna talk more about it when it comes to your British extremism. You're radicalists, British. You are fucking ISIS. You are Al Qaeda. You talk about Al Qaeda, ISIS, and so on. What the fuck are you? You tell me, what the fuck are you? How less radical are you? You are using me for all this, and where are we today at? How much progress have we made through the European Court, through all that stuff? But you still trying to prove that I was aligned, maybe, to something that you don't like, that is in your Bible written as evil? Yeah, you got a lot to fight for, you got a lot to live for. The world, however, I believe, should just pray so that it doesn't come to other countries, so it doesn't spread into other countries, because it's going to be the end of the world. Let's see how good it is today. Oh, whoa, okay, I see. Quite a few people more killed today. You're doing very good. You're doing fantastic. And you want to teach us, you want to teach the world about the evil immigrants, rapists, the pedo gangs, terrorists, chopping heads of your people, literally inside of the Britain. Man, I sided with you. The thing is, I don't see myself in you no more. I'll be honest with you. Where you're heading with your precious animals, I don't see myself in, and by God, I hope the world is going to reject you. It's time for the world to come to senses. You are up to no fucking good. This is just to give a nice date and time feature to this video. So you're doing pretty good over there in Cyprus. You're located also with your jets, bombers, giving Israel the guarantee that nobody's gonna mess with you. In Israel, through the Israel, that extermination will continue to go on. And at the same time, I saw those videos how you walk inside of those camps and you ask people if they want normal life. Fucking amazing. After you burn them the fucking country, imagine this, they fucking burn your country, they turn you into, send you 500 years backwards, and they come as a journalist and they start talking through, who the hell knows, maybe even Jemima, maybe she's a British spy, I don't know. I wouldn't even exclude that stuff, man. That's how dangerous you are, man. That's how dangerous you are. You are fucking Al Qaeda, you are ISIS. What other? Burn them a fucking countries and make out of their homes what you see here. This is what they do. This is how the freedom comes. And once you transfer it into this thing here, They will send their journalists, and you're going to hear the word normal. They want to live the normal life. They want to come back to the Britain. No? That's the way it works. That's how you do it. You go, you burn them, you kill them, and they come to Britain, then you teach them. You actually, no, you help them to get some good stuff. Eventually, I am truly glad that I did this video because, okay, it's Shamima. I am truly glad I did this news because the British animals, they were so violent during ECHR. The British detectives, they were so violent during ECHR that I actually did express to the British police, to the British detectives, whom your King Charlie. I said, you're Queen Elizabeth, right? God bless the Queen, right? It's a Queen. God bless the Queen. It's gonna be King William or Prince William, right? They made me, and I want to say this on the camera, they made me back, encouraging me. They made me back, not back, but say yes to give explosive for this bombing to this ISIS jihadists who did detonated bomb in Britain. I was there. I was told by your British detectives, instructed to ask so that I would have end of the torture in Britain. So what do you think about this? So how is it to use people from the continent for this type of stuff? You mind to elaborate, to explain on so-called ECHR about this stuff? Because, see, you write yourself your own book based on which then you give the ability to your British nation to see itself in something extremely disgusting. As you block United Nations, European Court for Human Rights, and continue to use police to kill, to do damage to me. This is the way it was. Because you have excuse, right? You can do all that, you ain't got nothing to worry about. So this is this is Britain. Man, Vladimir Putin stated that you are animals, cannibals over there, he called it with Medvedev a cannibal island. I think he was just honest with me. That's probably your partner, whatever the case might be, but it didn't make any difference to be honest with me or not honest with me. This is just, basically, this is just the stuff that we went on. This is just the stuff they were able to see. You're fucking incredible. I'll go and I'll testify for Shamima Begum, whatever her name is, properly pronounced. I'll go and I'll testify. Her boyfriend, husband, she, and camps, all the camps where she was in, they all knew me. I'll go and I testify. I'll tell you about how the bombing in England, in Britain took place. I'll go and I'll explain you, filth, scum, how you did it and what I was used for. I was used more than for this thing. I was used also to take curses that you created upon myself. That's how you pay. That's a British way. That's a German pay. That's American. That's a Trump economy. That's how you do it. Very, very, very smart. You're extremely, extremely smart people.